CCC family. Today we're going to be working on this cute little amigurumi sunflower. This is a beginner amigurumi project. You will be learning to increase, but we won't really be doing any decreases on this because this has a front and a back that are sewed together. But I'm going to show you how to make the little eyes and the cheeks and the mouth and all the little tricks that come in with amigurumi. For today, you're going to be using two different size hooks. You're going to be using an 8mm hook for the border and for this chunky yarn. And then for the middle part, you're going to be using a 4.25mm hook, okay? And you're also going to need a darning needle, or you might call it a crochet needle, looks like this. You're going to need a pair of scissors. And you're going to need a stitch marker. You can use the little plastic ones if you want. I just use a piece of yarn. Now the stuffing I'm using for the inside of this, I'm just using some of this chunky yarn that I have to stuff it. I normally don't do that for amigurumi projects, but I just thought it would be easier. And because this is not like a serious, you know, it's just like a little flower, you don't really need that much. So I think it works perfect for this, but you can use stuffing if you have it. Okay, so for this project, you're going to start with a magic circle, but I want to say first, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notify me bell below if you haven't yet so that you can get notified of my future videos. And sharing helps more than anything. To do a magic circle, and this is in my beginner video as well, I'm going to take my yarn, place it between my pinky and this finger here. Then I'm going to wrap my yarn around that. I'm going to take my hook. I'm using my 4.25mm hook. I'm going to go under this one, this strand of yarn, pull this one that's over it under, turn, make a loop, and then go through that loop, okay? And then there's also another way to make a magic circle, and I'm just putting this in here because this is a beginner video. If you're not comfortable with a magic circle, no matter how many videos you watch, you can just make a slip knot, chain two, and then in the second chain from the hook, you can work all your stitches, and that can be your magic circle. So after I chain two, I go into the second chain right here, and let's say I needed 6 single crochets, which is what we need. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you would just pull tight, just like you would do for a magic circle. The reason why people usually prefer a magic circle though, is because when you do this method, it does like to come undone. So it's very important that you work in your end in the back, okay? But this does work. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Actually gonna go into this first stitch that we made right here, and I'm going to make a slip stitch. So I'm gonna pull through my other loop for a slip stitch, just like that. Okay, then I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to go right into that same place right under where we slip stitched, and I'm going to put 2 single crochets in 2, and then I'm going to do 2 single crochets in my next 1 and 2, and I'm going to do that all the way around, and you should have a stitch count of 12. I'm just going to put this right here in my last stitch that I worked, and then I'm going to slip stitch right to this first one that we did, just like that. Then I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to put 1 single crochet right below that, and in the next I'm going to put 2 single crochets, and the next I'm going to put 1, and the next I'm going to put 2, and the next I'm going to put 1 single crochet, and in the next I'm going to put 2, and you're just going to keep doing that all the way around, and you should have a stitch count of 18. When we get to our last space where our stitch marker is, we're going to pull that out, and you should end on an increase, which means you put 2 stitches there. So 2 single crochets will go there. And let's count and make sure that we have it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You can put your stitch marker back. And then we can slip stitch to our first stitch right here. Remember, not the chain of 1, but the first stitch. And do a slip stitch. And now we're going to do another row of increase. So we're going to chain 1 again. Right below there, we're going to put 1 single crochet. And the next stitch, we're going to put 1 single crochet. And in our next stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets. And in the next, we're going to put 1 single crochet. And the next, 1 single crochet. And in the next, 2 single crochets. You're going to do that all the way around, and you should have a stitch count of 24. And when you get to the last stitch, pull your stitch marker out, put 2 single crochets where your stitch marker was, because you remember you should land on an increase. Then you're going to put your stitch marker back in the last stitch that you worked. And then we're going to slip stitch into our first stitch, not our chain 1. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to do another row of increase. We're going to chain 1. We're going to go right back under that space right there where we slip stitch, do a single crochet. Go into the next, do a single crochet, go into the next, do a single crochet, so that's 3. And then in the next one, you're going to put 2 single crochets. And again, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. And in the next one, you're going to put 2 single crochets. And we finished our last stitches there, so we're going to put our stitch marker back. And then we're going to slip stitch into our first stitch here. Remember, not the chain of 1. Okay, now we're going to chain 1. Right under there, we're going to put 1 single crochet. And then you're going to put 1 single crochet in the next. So that's 2. 1 single crochet in the next. That's 3. And 1 single crochet in the next, that's 4. And then in the next one, you're going to put 2 single crochets. So that's what you're going to do for this round. And so then again, you're going to do a single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in the next, you'll do an increase, so you'll do 2 single crochets. And you're just going to keep doing that all the way around. And by the end of this, you should have 36 stitches. We're on our last stitch, so we're going to pull our stitch marker out. We're going to end on an increase, so we're going to put 2 single crochets there. And then we're going to, you can put your stitch marker back, but this is our last row. And then we're going to slip stitch into our first single crochet there, okay? And so that's what it looks like, and this will be the front of your flower. I do want to tell you a little trick here, and that's that if for any reason you get to the end of one of your rounds and you don't have the count that you need, like I told you would need 36 for this last one. Let's say you messed up somewhere, you missed an increase, or you did something. Remember that you can always add stitches or take away here at the end. The main point is that you have the correct count. So what I want you to do now is I want you to make another one exactly like this that we just did. You can rewind the video if you need to, or remember to, if I'm going too fast, you can slow down the video as well within your options there on YouTube. But yeah, let's stop it. We'll make another one, and then I'm going to show you how to stuff it and how to sew it together. Okay, so I finished our other side, and I want to leave a long piece here, probably about just 2 feet long, just to be safe, because we're going to be sewing this one on top of the other one, and then the same for this one. And I didn't show you, but to tie off, just pull your yarn through, pull through the loop, and then pull tight. Okay, so just really easy stuff here. You don't even need to work in these ends, unless maybe if you didn't do the magic circle and it's coming apart, you feel like you need to, you can. But if you tighten them really tight, we're going to basically just be putting all of these on the inside. And this is a great thing about amigurumi. You can hide all your ends inside your project, okay? And so then what we'll do is we'll line this up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be working through the back loops only and going through to this back loop over here, okay? So I'm going to go this back loop. So if we look here, we've got a V. If we look over here, we've got a V. I'm going to be going through the back loop of this V and picking up what is the back facing you on this side. And I'm just going to go around like that. And that's going to leave a stitch in the front for you to pull up those on. So I'm just going to try to line these up as best I can. If you miss one, it's not the end of the world. And we're just going to keep going around sewing just like this. Make sure that when you get towards the end here that you leave a little space so that we can stuff this, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and finish mine, you finish yours, and we'll be right back, but remember to leave a little space. Okay guys, so I finished, of course, the other one, and then we've sewed it together, and I've left a little space here to start filling it in, and I've just cut up some of this chunky yarn. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stuff this in. You can use as much or as little as you want. Now I'm just going to continue sewing exactly the way I was, going in from the back and then the back of this one facing you. You're going to take your piece right here and you're going to work it back into your project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right into here and go out the other side. And then I'm going to go right into the place that I just came out of. If I don't do that, if I go over here, then you're going to be able to see this line going across, and you don't want to do that. So the rule for amigurumi is you're always going in and out of the same place so that you can't see those lines. So I'm going to go right into the same place, and I'm going to come out over here somewhere. And 3 times the rule is the same for amigurumi as it is for regular crochet. I'm just going in and out of different places, and then you can pull tight. The tighter you pull, that means that the yarn will spring back into your project. If for whatever reason, if you ever see yarn poking out, just take the end of your darning needle and go like this where the yarn is, and it'll go back into your project, okay? And then you're gonna take your chunky yarn and you can go, and we're gonna bring this in, make a chain to hold it in place. Then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to skip 2, 1 and 2, and then go into the next single crochet, and then chain 3. And then skip 2, go into the next single crochet, and then chain 3. Just going to keep doing that all the way around. And remember, use the edge of your hook there to pull those up because they will be hard to get into with this big hook. Okay, so we're on our last one here, and we're going to chain 3. You might have more than 2 stitches left. That's okay, doesn't matter. What I want you to do is after you chain 3, you're going to go into the base of this first chain 3 that you did, right where you brought in your color, and you're going to make a slip stitch, okay? And so now we should have 11 of these chain 3s. So we're going to go right into our first one, and we're going to make a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 1. Then in this spot right here, you're going to single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet. And again into the next single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet. And one more time, go into your next, do a single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet. So just keep doing that all the way around until you have 11 of these petals, and I'll meet you back up at the end. Okay, so we finished our petals all the way around, and now we're going to slip stitch into this chain 1 that we did when we first started. So we're going to go right into there, make a slip stitch, and then we're all done with our border. And now we can cut off and we can work in our ends. Okay, and since this is a beginner video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to work in these ends real quick. So what you're going to do is you'll take this, you'll have this one right here that you need to work in. Just put it on your darning needle. Make sure you go into the color that's on your darning needle, and then you're going to work through 3 times. And I'm just going to go right back into the petal. There's 2, and then going in a different direction, there's 3, and then I can cut off. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one over. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 over. So I know I want to go right about there. So I'm going to pull this in through the back, just like this. Some people like to leave a strand hanging so it doesn't come undone, but I've been doing this for a long time. But since this is a beginner video, I'm going to leave a strand hanging. I'm going to show you how to work it in just a minute, okay? But to do the eye, we're going to do a French knot, and this is great for amigurumi, okay? So just watch what I do. I've pulled my yarn through. I've left a little bit hanging off in the back so it doesn't come undone, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap, I'm going to put my needle, my darning needle, right up against where this is. So this is my yarn right here, and I'm putting it like this. Then I'm going to wrap around 3 times around the hook, the needle, and then I'm going to go right back in to where I was. Okay? And then I'm going to go out the other side. And that's just going to make that cute little circle. Okay, then I'm going to go right over here, and I'm going to work the eye and around the same place if I can. Okay, so I went 3 over here, so I'm just going to take my finger and I'm going to go 3 over on this side. So I'm going to put my nail right there. I'm going to go right back into where we were working before, and I'm going to come out right over here where I need to come out for my eye. Okay, so we went down just a little bit, and then I'm going to come right out, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to lay my needle very close to the yarn. I'm going to go around 3 times, and then I'm going to go right back into the same spot I was working in, and then you can come out wherever you want, okay? And then you pull ever so slightly like that, okay? And you've got 2 perfect little circles. Isn't that cute? Okay, so now I'm going to show you a little trick with the mouth, and I'll show you how to work this black strand in here in just a minute. Okay, so wherever you want your mouth to go, I'm going to go a little high with it, and I'm going to go right over here with it. I'm going to pull it in, and see right there, I didn't go back into the same spot, and so it made a little place. So I'm going to pull that back out. And see, I want to show you this stuff because sometimes it can be. Now look, when I pulled on that, it pulled on my French knot. So what I want to do is pull it out a little bit more because it pulled it in, okay? So once I pull that out, it'll go back to its normal self, okay? So then I'm going to go back and find my yarn here. And then I'm going to go back into the same place and then go do for the smile, okay? So I'm going to go right over here, right near my eye. And then I'm going to go right over this way in the same spot and go out the other way. Now when I do this, it's going to make a straight line, and we don't really want a straight line. We want a smile. So we want it to be down a little bit, okay? And so to make that, when we want to make it stay like that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work this in, keep it loose, hold it with my finger right there. Then I'm going to go back in to the same spot that I was at, and I'm going to come out right down here past the mouth, right underneath it and make a little stitch to hold that smile into place where it leaves a little dip there, okay? And then I'm gonna come out right the other side, just like that. And that'll keep that, giving it an upturned look, okay? Otherwise it would just be a straight line. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work this in, again 3 times, going in and out of the same place, 2, and I don't wanna pull too tight because it'll mess with our mouth and our eyes and stuff. So you don't wanna pull too tight, but here at the end, I'm gonna cut off and you're gonna see that that leaves that black there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my darning needle, I'm gonna take the other end and I'm gonna press it down, okay? And then I'm gonna work this back in the same way. This was our piece from when we first started. We'll do the same thing going in and out. Okay. Cut off. And right back into the work it goes. Okay. And now we've got a cute little face. Now all we have to do is make the little cheeks. So we're going to do that French knot again. So I'm going to grab this pretty pinkish purple color I have. I'm going to put it onto my darning. And I'm going to work these right beside the eyes and right under to make the cheeks. So again, you can leave some hanging off at the end. So you can work that in later so it doesn't come undone. And then you're going to wrap this around only twice this time for the cheek. Then go right back into the same place. Right there, come out and then pull easy, and you've got the little cheek there. We're going to go right back in and then come back over this way and go under this eye to the side a little bit. And again, we're going to go twice, once and twice, go back into the same place and come out the back. Okay, and now you've got 2 little cheeks there, and then you're going to work these ends in as well, going in and out of the same place. Okay, and if for any reason when you're doing this, if you get a little dip in your work, like it starts to cave in, just use your darning needle to fluff it back out again, just like this, okay? And then as you can see, that's still leaving a little space there. So I'm gonna use the other side of my darning needle to get that in. And then we need to put the little piece that we had hanging from the beginning and work this in. Okay. And look at that. You got a beautiful little sunflower thing going on here. Okay, so I'm probably going to turn these into keychains, into little gifts. You can put them in little boxes and, you know, say, here's a little sunshine for the day. So these are great, lots of fun, wonderful amigurumi projects for beginners. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. You can ask below on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Go find me in all those places. Give me a quick follow. I appreciate it so, so much. And I'll see you soon, guys. Happy crocheting. Bye-bye.